and welcome to the I Love You Bet podcast. I'm Heather, and this is my sister,
Rian. Each week, we will revisit relics of our childhoods using our multiple master's degrees
to critically evaluate the crap that consumed our misspent youth. So join us,
sisters, latchkey kids, cuspers, and lazy feminists as we look back at our past to say, I love you, but...
Brian Davis, how did you waste time this week?
We did see the new Paw Patrol movie yesterday, so that was fun for Elliot and us. We were entertained. He liked it. We had commentary.
Was he still?
Yes. No, he wasn't still. He was pretty still. He was tired.
Oh.
He was tired, but no, like by the end, he was like, we sat in that front row where the rail is, so he was like standing up on the rail. But he wasn't too wiggly. He didn't have the same vitus as, or like when he just sits with me and can't be still.
You got a new bed.
Yes, I spent a lot of time with a bed this past week, putting a frame together, waiting for the new bed to show up.
I had an anxiety dream last night that Dad was still alive. I keep having those. But it's not like, yay, Dad's alive. It's more like, I've been telling everybody you're dead. Now I gotta go tell them you're alive. And then, like, we had been at a conference and we were trying to race back to get to where Dad was because he was alive. And there was this really nice couple and they were like, oh, well, you helped us, so we're going to send you the full airfare and whatever hotel, blah, blah, right? And we were like, okay, bye. And then we went back to somewhere and we were in a coffee shop and they were there and they were like, oh, we found you. We bought that for you. And they gave it to us. And that was nice. But then there was too much going on and Elliot ran away. And then everything got picked up at the coffee shop, but not really. So I didn't know where my passport and those plane tickets were. So then I was really stressed. And you were like, why are you worried about this? And I was like, that's like $1,000. What do you mean? Why am I worried about this? And then a bunch of people had sent food to the house because they heard Dad was back. But then it was too much food and I didn't know it was there because I was too busy to pay attention to my text messages. There was just food piled up in the hallway, which is how you know it was a dream because Sadie would have eaten all of it. But the really interesting thing was in the dream, Diana had sent us these 2 giant boxes of gorgeous, palm-sized cookies that were pistachio and sage. And I don't even know if those 2 flavors go together, but in my dream brain, I could smell them and taste them. They had brown butter and they were so good. And people came and they started eating all the food. Mom stole 3 of the cookies and put them in my room so that I would have them. And then one of our cousins,
yeah, Mom.
Yeah, and then one of our cousins was like, why are you so bad at everything? And I was like, why is this happening? And then thankfully my alarm went off. So it was a mixed bag. I been trying to change the anxiety situation, and I think I might need more medication than what I'm currently on. So we'll see. Could also just be that I was up really late watching Clue instead of getting a full 8 hours of sleep. So we'll see.
I will say I did spend a little bit of time researching last night, about how much a trip to Disney World would cost.
Uh-huh.
That's ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know how or why. Because, of course, they had a commercial for Disney World at the movies yesterday. And so Dad and I were like, all right, well, we're not going until he's old enough to ride. So I started, perfect age to take a kid. And I figured out it's 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Is, the magic age. But
and
it's
you go
a family
in February.
$6,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, we could go to Europe for $6,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm never going to Disney World. I'm sorry. I'm not taking him. Grammy can take him. I am not spending money on that.
But the thing is, that's because you stay at the Disney hotel and you do there's cheaper ways to do it. And to me, if you're going to do it,
please plan our Disney vacation?
Yes.
Otherwise, he ain't going.
It does not have to cost $6,000. You just have
I'm
to
like,
do
let's
it.
go to Tahiti.
You have
We
to
can
do
go
it.
to Tahiti.
He doesn't want to go to Tahiti. I mean, I feel like if you
He
can
doesn't
afford it,
know that he doesn't. He doesn't even know about Tahiti. He didn't even say he wanted to go to Disney World. He didn't say anything. It was just us.
that's just because he doesn't know. I've been to Disneyland and I can tell you it's wonderful. And I've been to both of the Hogwarts, at both of the Universals, and they're amazing. Well, actually, there's three because there's another one in Orlando I didn't go to, but I've been to one of the two in Orlando, and I've been to the one in California, and they're magical and they're worth going to. But yes, we will. There are many, many internet sites that tell you how to do it for less money. It's still expensive and it's a lot of walking. So there's a lot of there's a lot of prep that has to happen. So
yeah, a lot of prep that has to happen. Well, we're in the early stages, so I got 2.5 years at least.
yeah. Yeah, basically he has like 5 good years of travel in him, and then he's an asshole. So
we'll see.
Okay. I will say that yesterday I was listening to The Dollop while I was working all day. And I heard the episode. It's when I've been like going back and trying to listen from the beginning instead of just like randomly, like, what's the funniest Dollop episode? And those are the ones I listen to. And I listened to one about the Girl Watcher Society. Have you heard that one?
Oh, yeah.
And that poor young woman who got gawked at by thousands of men.
Yeah. The most beautiful woman that ever existed.
Except that evidently she really wasn't. It was just
she had big boobs. Yeah.
People are creepy. And so, of course, I was reminded of that because in Clue, we have Yvette, the quote unquote French maid. And I was like, I feel like Garrett's reaction to that story makes me just, once Elliot gets to that age, if he is interested in the bodies of women, which we don't know, I would like to sit him down and play him that episode and talk it through. Because short of staging a flash mob where people just stare at him all day and get bigger and bigger crowds so that he can feel that as a human being, I feel like perhaps that would be step one, would be just playing the podcast episode. And then if he still acts like a total freaky jerk at that point, then I will stage a flash mob. And if that doesn't work, goodbye. Good luck with your kid. I'm not going to put up with it. It's not happening. So,
well, I was talking with Friday, we didn't have like hardly anyone was in class because there was like a field trip and a play and this and that. And so like 22 kids missing out of one of my classes. And it was ridiculous. So we were just talking about the fact that I'm not buying Elliot an iPhone. Because they said something about how they need this. And I'm like, you don't need like a smartphone. Like, no, you don't need a smartphone. And they were like, why not? And I was like, because I don't want him to send pictures of his penis, unsolicited pictures of his penis to people. And they were like, he won't do that if you raise him, right? And I was like, and luckily it was males who were saying this, so that like made me think that hopefully they haven't sent just at least not unsolicited.
Also, I feel like unsolicited is maybe one of those words where they think it means one thing and it means something else.
This was my AP class, so hopefully they know what unsolicited is. The seniors in my AP class. So,
all right, let's hope. I was thinking about that yesterday. I was like, well, we only had teenagers as like a thing since the 1950s. It hasn't even been 100 years that teenagers have been a thing. And in that time, they got the pill, they got cars. Cars is really what created them. And now they've had the internet. We have not had enough time to work on this social experiment. Like, no. Nothing says their developing brains can handle this much. Like, and they got video games. Good God. And porn on the internet. Like, regular porn.
Yeah, I was like,
there.
How did you skip over porn? Porn was around, but
but
extremely easy access to.
Yes. Again, pumping on the cocaine button in the rat cage.
I mean, I'm not gonna get, like I said, I'm not giving him the phone.
I'm not saying for him. I'm just saying for all of humanity's sake. Fuck. Like,
well, I can't control all of humanity. I do what I can on a daily basis.
Maybe someday more than 20 people will listen to this and they'll be like, yeah,
you're right.
Maybe it shouldn't just be a given that we give them unfettered access to the internet and let them send pictures to each other without real human interaction. Just a thought. Anyway,
I just want to not get cussed out for wanting kids to go to class and not just wander hallways all day long.
I mean, just ignore them.
I know, but I'm just like, but I don't want to ignore them because that's why they're wandering the halls, because
they're being ignored.
Yeah, they
just keep asking them why.
I know, that's what I'm doing. Why don't you want to get an education? Because it's where do you see your life in 5 years if you spend your whole day just wandering the halls?
Eventually they will kick you out. Whose halls will you wander then?
Whose halls you gonna be wandering in 5 years?
What do you remember about? What do you remember about Clue from 1985?
Red herring, Tim Curry, flames. It's like flames. I found a button on Etsy the other day that has her and that in the words, and I really want it because I feel like I reference that so many times in my life. Multiple endings, lots of running about, and a classic whodunit.
Love it. I said sexy maid, Tim Curry, red herring, singing telegram, flames, too many endings, a lot of innuendo, communists, ?
I didn't remember the singing telegram, so that one was yeah, there were a lot of bits I didn't remember.
You're singing telegram.
I'm really glad that Greg Butler didn't shoot us when we gave him his singing telegram.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they weren't there.
Yeah, they were. He sent that to me on Facebook not a while. I guess it came up as a memory, and he's like, "This will forever be the most amazing thing."
That's so sweet. It's so nice when people don't mind that we sing at them so loudly.
I don't even remember the song.
One of our favorite things to do. I know it was a Christmas song, and we rewrote the words.
That's a classic. That is a classic Davis move.
We learned it by watching our mother, who took little golden books and made them naughty. So
we learned it by watching you, Mom.
How to be cool and shit. Why is Tim Curry so tan?
I don't know.
See, the thing is, I don't know why, but your microphone doesn't pick up when you laugh like that. So it's just like there's this long string of silence and people have no idea that you're laughing.
Should I point it more towards myself? Should I try to laugh again?
No. I just wanted to point that out. Okay, there we go. Sure. That was an audible laugh, so I'll call it that. There's an inaudible laugh. There we go.
It's because I'm just wheezing.
I didn't realize that he was our Buster Keaton. I can't believe I never put that together. They look similar, and then the whole beginning he doesn't talk, and it's all just his reactions and this kind of physical.
Yeah, and it's a very physical comedy throughout the.
Yeah. A second question. Speaking of doing singing telegrams to invite people to parties, why haven't we ever done a murder mystery party?
It seemed like a lot of work.
I mean, has that stopped us?
I don't know. I mean, there was definitely I feel like there was a phase in maybe the early 2000s where that was real popular.
Yeah. Maybe we just didn't want to do it because it was so popular.
I know, we hate popular things.
We just knew nobody would dress up.
It's not too late, Heather Davis.
I mean, if we could, first of all, speaking of Greg Butler,
who do we invite though?
His house is perfect for a murder mystery party. And I feel like
now we just have to get him to listen to the podcast.
He'd be down to be the host. I feel like we just do a singing telegram to invite him to host a murder mystery party and invite us. And I'll come to town. And we could think of people who are cool in Lexington who would dress up. He knows people that are cool and would dress up. It'd be real fun.
I feel like if we did a singing telegram, there's no way he'd say no. Like,
And then we would just put,
something.
P.S. No David Byrne music, please, thank you.
Also, here's the guest list. I think that's why, because like it's like with us, it's like nobody or 100 people. Like there's no way we could be like, here's the 12 people that we want to invite.
I can come up with 12 people. Introvert here, I can do that. That is possible. One of us can do that for sure. And Greg's an introvert.
Okay.
He could do that too.
Jacob Murgo's invited. After that, I don't know.
Okay, then Jacob's character is gonna have to be like sports guy. He's not gonna get dressed up. Be like,
no, Jacob dresses up. Remember, I made him that Frodo cape and that whole costume.
Hobbit or
and
he had his guy.
He had his like George Washington costume that he used to wear and his General Patton that he used to wear to work.
Okay.
Yeah, Jacob loves to dress up.
He could be General Patton. I feel like Greg would do this since he did the whole Barbie thing for his birthday. I
100% know that Greg would do this. So
I enjoyed Clue very much, but I feel like our time might be better spent talking about how we can have our own murder mystery party. But it did remind me.
I was gonna say, can we talk about other board games? Like, what if other board games became movies? I know there was Battleship.
So they're gonna do that. They're gonna do that for everything. Like they're gonna take all the games and all the toys and turn them all into movies because of the success of Barbie. So just prepare to be disappointed. Like it's not gonna be as good.
What, like Connect 4, the movie?
There's a way that would be interesting, but it's gonna take somebody like Greta Gerwig to write it. Like Candyland would be a real good trippy movie. That's for sure. Yeah. But don't put Tim Burton on it. It'll be nightmarish.
No, movie.
I did at one point have a question. Is there a Black people version of Clue? Because I bet that would be hilarious. Like what?
That seems really borderline problematic statement right there.
Why? There's like Black people versions. Like they did Death at a Funeral and it was the white people version. Then they did a Black people version. It was funny. Like it's a thing. It happens.
Tyler Perry, we need you to make Black Clue.
It would be really funny. Or you could even have like Jordan Peele do it and then it wouldn't be funny. It would be like Get Out, but like Clue. Like
what if Tyler Perry and Jordan Peele collaborated?
So the first part was really funny and then it was scary as fuck. That'd be pretty good. I did like buttle as a verb. I enjoyed that. I'm a butler.
Yes, I had to look it up. Like, what do you do? I buttle.
There are a lot of very funny jokes. The objectification of women is exhausting. But there was also the car is frightened. That was really funny.
Oh, that was very funny.
Why does car stop? Slurping was very funny. Like
the dog poop. Like what was that?
That was funny too. Like it was just one of those like. So apparently, Tom Stoppard was originally hired to write this, and he tried to write it for a year and failed and returned all the money. So
well, good for him.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't know.
How could he write Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead, but he couldn't write this?
I don't know. I don't know. Did you know that Corinne has the world's worst case of pressure of speech? Remember when Miss Peacock can't shut up? She's just like, oh,
yes.
And Christopher Lloyd is like, we call this pressure of speech. I was like,
yeah.
I know somebody.
Like, are you afraid of silence?
So last week's movie inspired me to have the pop-up bar idea with the phone booths and the lit phones and all that. This week inspired me that we should start an Airbnb in an old ass mountain mansion and have like secret passageways and shit like that.
So you just want to have a murder mystery dinner party that never ends, but with a revolving cast of characters.
I would love to invest in that and have dumb white people pay too much money to go to it and then pay people to clean it up and, you know, just try to make sure that the actors have regular visits and shots and things because, you know, they'd all be doing it.
But you know, they didn't actually film in a house. That was all on set.
Yeah, I know. But
okay.
But at an Airbnb, you could actually stay. It would be kind of fun. Like,
I know. It's just sad because you're like, I mean, it seems like a very real house.
Oh, well, I mean, there are houses. Good with the set. Yeah, there are houses.
Yes, I know houses exist. I live in one.
That have. Sorry.
I love how they're just like New England.
Yeah. And then I got like lost in the trivia on IMDb and it was like, well, they mentioned Route 41, so it must be either been, you know, like Connecticut or something else. I was like, oh Lord, who is like, I feel like there are people that have stopped this and watched it to make sure that they know who's missing in each scene to figure out if that, and I'm like, I can't even fathom, like, I don't know who you are, people, but you're great. And also, like, could you try to work on real unsolved mysteries? Like, if you're going to spend that much time on Clue, the movie,
trying to see if Clue completely lines up.
Yeah, that would be really cool if you'd go put in on some unsolved mysteries. That'd be real cool. Some cold cases, as we like to call them. The other thing I was reminded of, which made me, it was a happy memory of how we like to overdo. One of the years for sensational settings, which you know I loved so much. So there is a Denton Benefit League, which is the Society of Nice Wealthy Ladies, and mostly white, because that's how wealth works. And they used to have this really cool fundraiser called Sensational Settings, and mostly businesses would buy tables and decorate to a theme to advertise for their business. But we are extra, and so we would just buy a table as a group and be extra about it for funsies. So the first year we did a Dia de los Muertos table, and it was like a wedding cake that was like 3 feet high, and we made our own sugar skulls and like had the whole thing. And when you came back, we did Alice in Wonderland, and it was amazing. And
it was just you, me, and Mom.
Yeah.
And none of those other bitches were involved.
And the Bees did their own table, which I think was a 70s table that year. So they like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, they did like a whole 70s.
It was table. Like slumber party, 70s slumber party. I think.
And it was pretty cute. But our Alice in Wonderland table was kick-ass. And I'm sad that the only pictures I have of it are like first iPhone grade quality pictures, because it deserved better quality pictures. And then the year after that, the Bees, Ryan was gone again, and the Bees did a Clue table. So that was really fun.
I don't think you were there for the Clue table.
But I know I was here because I know that Shelley was supposed to get the Miss Scarlet stuff together, and she didn't show up until like the night before, and I was super stressed.
I think.
Tell me your version. What's your alternate ending of Sensational Settings? My
alternate version is that we did the Alice in Wonderland table first, just you, me, and Mom.
Definitely not true.
Before I moved for graduate school.
Possibly that's true, but we definitely did the Dia de los Muertos table first. I promise you, we did it first.
But I didn't help with the Dia de los Muertos table.
I know. I don't understand how to solve the timeline, but I'm telling you, we did that one first. But
no,
because all the white people would walk up and they would be like making their face like Dia de los Muertos, and then they would see the Honorable Judge Carmen Rivera Worley, and they would be like, "Oh, oh, Judge Rivera Worley, oh." and calm their faces down.
Where's Mom? We need to bring her in
No.
to solve this.
No.
We need a guest.
No.
We need a guest judge to come.
You know how I can solve this? I can go check my Gmail. But you know what's not interesting podcasting? Us arguing about our own timeline. Is Mr. Body a missing Baldwin?
It's like, is he a Baldwin? He looks like a Baldwin.
He's not.
Oh. I do think that I felt very seen when I think it was Colonel Mustard asked Miss Scarlet, how can you make jokes at a time like this? And she's like, it's my defense mechanism. I was like, oh yeah, I see. There's a Davis.
It's a trauma response mechanism, baby.
Yep.
Yeah, the dudes were all gross cowards. The Three Stooges violence cracked me up. Did you know that Mrs. White is Shelley's personality inside of Delta's body?
Yeah, Mrs. Peacock Hat is probably my favorite uncredited character.
Yeah, that's a great prop. It was also hilarious how much they all despised each other. Like, they were despicable people, and they definitely despised each other.
Yes. 100%.
And that's it. That's all I got for Clue. I enjoyed it. The end.
I did like it when he's like, I'm a butler. I like to clean up. And then something about the FBI. Why do you think it's run by a man called Hoover?
Mm-hmm. That was cute. I mean,
yeah. Heather, would you care for fruit or dessert?
I thought that was cute that came back up too.
I did try to look up the origins of Heavens to Betsy because, I've had that long dream of starting the podcast where we try to guess where things like phrases like that come from.
Mm-hmm. And there's already a KERA show about that, but that's okay.
No, that's just words. It's not whole phrases. And they're not drunk.
Okay. So you want to do
it's like
drunk,
a combination
you want to
of
do
like
drunk word history?
The dollop and drunk history and whatever that show's called. Like put those three together. So
okay.
Everybody's drinking. One person has done the research. One person's just guessing and hearing it all for the first time. They have no idea basically where Heavens to Betsy came from. Sometime in the 1850s. Some people say it had something to do with Betsy Ross. I do think that if I taught U.S. history, and maybe because there are enough government references, I could get away with showing this movie in class. Like once the AP test is over and we're just watching movies, I'll be like, we're going to watch Clue, y'all. It's like WHO, the FBI, the House Un-Americans Act. I feel like there was a couple other organizations mentioned. Communism. Just a red
Actually,
herring.
in the beginning, they're playing the McCarthy hearings.
I know, I saw that
I thought that's what it was, and then when I saw the trivia, I was like, oh, that was what it was.
Yeah, I figured that's what it was, and then as the movie went on, I was like, that's definitely what it was.
Yeah.
The randomly Cantonese cook making monkey brains.
I forgot about monkey brain.
It just looked like white jello.
Yeah, I don't know. They had like shark fin soup too. It's a very interesting cuisine.
It was very menu. Yeah,
slurp, slurp, menu. Slurp, slurp. Tim Curry brought it down. That's part of why I didn't write anything toward the end, because as soon as the physical, him running back and forth, and then him doing his impression of Mr. Green, and then he sits down, he acts like Peacock, and he slurps. It was just so good. I had to keep watching to just see how he was going to imitate the other characters. Did such a good job. So good. And then when they're all singing She's the Jolly Good Fellow, and they're some of them are coming in and harmonizing. Oh God.
That's awesome. Yeah. As Mrs. Peacock sleeping.
Yeah. I think if they redid this, it would be kind of funny to see what Chris Guest might do with it. Like, with some more ad lib would be pretty cute. Or the other one who'd be good, of course, it made me think of like Glass Onion and the other one.
Yeah.
Rian Johnson did, but because of the
murder mystery one, the whodunit.
They're both murder mysteries.
Yeah, no, I know. I just couldn't remember the name of it that we went and saw.
I can't remember the original one either. I'm so sad. I know Benoit Blanc.
So what? And then what is it that Tim Curry has? He's got some kind of debilitating illness, doesn't he?
He's had, I think, at least one stroke. I don't know about debilitating illness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Evidently, I was listening to my other favorite podcast, I Saw What You Did yesterday, and they had an FMK that involved Tim Curry as a creep. So it was like Bill Skarsgård and Tim Curry and some other guy. Oh, Anthony Hopkins. So they all play like super creepy dudes.
You do? Okay. I'm sitting here just trying to figure FMK.
Yeah, decide who you would fuck, marry, and kill. They both fucked Bill Skarsgård. Not surprising.
No, not at all. 100%. Thank you.
But then Danielle was saying that you had to marry Tim Curry because he's a national treasure, which I'm like, he and Anthony Hopkins are both like British. But okay. they can
he
be
was
our
the smoke
treasures.
Monster in Ferngully.
But evidently he has like recorded albums and they're very lovely, so I might try to sneak that into my ear holes at some point. I don't know why. Oh, I guess I thought maybe I'd have more to say about Clue, and then I didn't. So this will be a short one for the vault.
I figured this one would probably be a short one. But we could start planning our murder mystery dinner or our single telegram to Greg.
I would just like to say,
because he doesn't listen to our podcast, so it'll still be a surprise to him.
I found Clue to be highly rewatchable. At 96 minutes, it's perfect. Even as halfway through, you're going to have to sit through 3 endings. They did a good job of making it 3 endings and not like dragging it out too long. I thought they did a good job of that. And I don't know, I feel like there was another movie that tried to do that. I know Brazil had a bunch of endings, but I think Brazil's endings, they had to do that because it was super depressing and people couldn't handle it and they needed the Hollywood ending added.
Yeah.
What do you think?
But I don't know what board game as a movie would you go see?
Girl Talk.
Yeah.
She's laughing silently again.
You hear that laugh?
What?
You can't hear me when I laugh like that?
I heard the last part. And then when you got real high. And
what if they don't have the zit stickers?
Then I'm not going to watch it. Hello?
So it only with zit stickers?
Yeah, no, I want zits to actually like animatronic, like to pop up on their faces. Like,
and then as they lose, they keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Or the whole thing is inside of the girl's head, and like the zits are like all waiting to pop out or something.
What was the one? We had Mom's version of the game.
Mystery Date.
Mystery Date.
That would be.
I think we already have that. It's called Love Is Blind. It's a whole TV show.
Let's see, what other board games?
What was the mall one?
I hate Monopoly, and that's also real life.
Yeah.
I don't remember the mall one. Shopping something, probably. Shop to the max.
Yeah. We had that Sweet Valley High board game, so that could be a movie because, it was actually based on books, so it would have a plot.
I'm pretty sure they've got a Sweet Valley High coming out because they had dolls.
Okay.
Yeah.
No thanks. Good. More pretty girls.
Honestly, I like what the CW has been doing with the like taking Archie and Jughead and all them and making it like murder mystery. Like I like that, and the Nancy Drew series. Like,
trying to finish Riverdale, and I just can't.
And I'll tell you why. Because those kids wanted out, and they would not let them out. So, like, after like season 3, I haven't watched it in solidarity with them because that's mean.
So it was like, I think so. What the final season was? What, season 5?
I have no idea.
And like they were like, I think I saw something where it like ends as a quadruple.
No, well, that
like
works.
The four of them just end up together. And so I was like, okay, Ryan, go back and try to make it through because that'll be sexy. I don't know, whatever. And I'm still in season 4, and it's just like,
why don't you just watch the last 2 episodes? Like,
maybe, I don't know. I may just have to like go to season 5. It's not like I really need to know what's going on plot-wise.
Like, yeah, like, do you care how they got there? Like,
because like Redhead's got a cold, Archie has PTSD, war trauma, Blondie like has PTSD from getting kidnapped by a serial killer and works for the FBI. Forehead married some guy, and now she's like on the hook for some money because he embezzled a bunch of money.
Is that Veronica?
Jughead's
you call her forehead?
Yeah, because you always talked about her forehead being too big.
No, I really have a problem because our eyes are too close together.
Oh, whatever. Okay, so Veronica, and then Jughead's like an alcoholic writer, washed up alcoholic writer who's chasing some rat man. I don't know. It's like fucking ridiculous. Like it is.
Bring back the jingle. Bring back the jingle jangle.
We need the jingle jangle because this shit's fucked up. Like the whole. I can't even, like, what did they even do in season 5? No wonder they wanted out. They, like, read the script for season 4. They were like, the fuck?
Yeah. No, those kids wanted out. I feel bad for them.
Never signed more than a 1-year contract.
Evidently.
Yeah. But then, like, what are any of them going to do now?
Who cares? Not that. So, like, if they were careful with their money, they'll be fine.
It's true. I don't know. I mean, I will say the Hedwig episode was very good. So.
Oh, okay. Well,
maybe that's. Oh, you didn't see that one?
No. But
that was
like,
the season.
Of course, it's going to be good. I don't know that I finished season 3, dude. Like, seriously, I might have started it and then just been like, like, can't. Cannot.
Sabrina was much better.
Yeah, Sabrina was great. And Sabrina ended just when it should have. And it had just the right amount of queerness that went nowhere, like just enough to have you be like, ooh, and then it'd be like, okay, I'm done with that. Okay, cool. Thanks for throwing it in. Instead of Clue, where it's like, I'm a homosexual. It's like, oh, God, who cares?
Like, all right, well. I'm going to go home and make love to my wife.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was like, is Martin Mull canceled? Like, I kept thinking they were canceled. And I was looking them up, and I don't think any of them are canceled.
No.
But Martin Mull, to me, was the best in Arrested Development. But really, he wasn't that good. It was just... Lucille's reaction to him was so good.
I don't even remember him. And
he would show up in disguises, and then she'd be like, "Oh, it's you! You're so good. He's so good!" And she'd
like, freak out. But they were like terrible.
Like it was like Terry, I think maybe was his character's name. I want to say.
I need to go back and rewatch that.
I think it's on Netflix now.
David Alan Grier, maybe he could be the butler in Black Clue.
Yeah, he'd be good.
Oh, sorry, he just popped up when I was looking at Martin Mull. All right, let's not beat this dead horse.
Where's the dead horse? Let's beat it.
The dead horse. Like, who was beating a dead horse that created that phrase? Like,
I don't know. Listen, the other problem with going back through and listening to the dollop is like just being so disappointed in how terrible humanity is, and in particular Americans. Yeah. Like, we're the worst. We've been the worst for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Can't handle it. And then I see this whole thing on the internet today about like some bacteria that like is spreading because in the ocean because all the ocean temperatures are rising. Just like. And Gareth called it in like 2016. Like, The rich people are all just gonna escape the put and be like, oh, it's gonna be fine, don't worry about it. And then they're gonna peace out all your rockets. And I'm like, yeah, good call, Gareth. They're certainly doing that, aren't they?
On Friday, when there was no one in class, my students were having a conversation about justifying why we need to blow up the moon, and I was
what?
like, I know.
We don't want to have tides? Like, what?
Yeah, they're like, it would end tsunamis and like something, and then werewolves. And I was like, if werewolves is part of your argument, then you're done, y'all. Like, no.
You can no longer have really funny cartoons about a man living on the moon. That is a problem. I enjoy those as a child. Those were great. I'm trying to think of other board games.
What would happen to all of our periods? Like, we would just have periods all the time? Like, no, thank you.
I don't think that's why we have periods.
Well, it's like a monthly cycle. How would we tell time?
I mean, I think time still exists.
They were like, why? And I couldn't think of a good reason other than because it's there, and that just made me feel so old.
Oh, and also witches need moons, and we love witches.
I don't know. Apparently, they don't like werewolves either. It would solve all these problems, and I was like, what? Like, tsunamis are not that big of a problem.
No, not compared to all the other problems. Like,
I know. You think tsunamis are happening all the time? Like.
I mean, unless we're going to send all the AR-15s at it to try to kill it, that will solve another problem that is an actual problem. I'd be okay with that.
Except then we wouldn't have a moon.
Well, it wouldn't actually work, so.
I feel like the moon serves a purpose.
I know.
Other than just being, like, pretty. So, I don't know what it is. So, listeners, if one of you happens to be, like,
a moon expert.
A space person.
I kind of feel like just a real quick Wikipedia search would tell you why it's important to have a moon. I don't know that we need
fun. See, experts. Don't you remember before phones when we could have actual conversations?
The other day, before I'm leading all this training right now, and before the training, somebody had said they'd gone to see Peter Gabriel in concert, and that I was like, "Oh, who was it?" And he was like, "Well, the best concert I ever saw was a Peter Gabriel concert in 1993." And then he starts talking about how it started, and there was like 2 phone booths on separate parts of the stage, and Peter Gabriel was in one. And he kept trying to get out of the phone booth to go to the woman who was in the other phone booth, because the whole song was about miscommunication. And like the line kept getting longer and longer, and then it started pulling him back, and he was on like some conveyor belts or something. So it was all like theater and whatever. And he tells this whole thing, and then I was like, okay, so for anyone on the Zoom under 30, once upon a time. Our phones had cords. He started laughing. He said, well, they might want to know what I said. I think they know what a phone booth is because of the movies, but they may not understand that the phone was physically bound, and that if you were 13 or 14 when this was true, you would drag it from the kitchen to your bedroom. So you had to have the world's longest phone cord to make that happen. And then sometimes it would get tangled up, and so you had to stand on the top of your bed and hang it above your head so that it would unravel. You would get the cord not fucked up so that you could still have the length to talk to your friends all day about nothing.
And
now you just text each other. It's fine. Or whatever.
Yes. TikTok, and then sometimes you would just sit there on the phone saying nothing.
Yeah. I was talking. Another thing I told them was about a time when a friend of mine was like watching TV with a friend while they were on the phone together, and they were on like instant messenger together. And one of them said a joke and the other one typed LOL but didn't laugh. So my friend was like, no, you didn't. You didn't LOL. I can hear you.
Oh my God, that's too much. I know, it always cracks me up when students, they're like, can I go see this teacher? And I'm like, yeah, but you have to call them and ask. And then like watching them try to use the phone.
Oh yeah, it's awkward.
Is just, one of them the other day was like, is that the phone? And I was like, yes, that's the phone. Or like, where's the phone? They were like looking at it, like, where's the phone? And I was like, there?
Mhm.
You don't know what a phone looks like? You don't know what a phone looks like.
Well, they'd be real confused if the only movie they'd seen was Clue, because nobody has a phone that looks like that anymore. Those big old rotary phones, they were great. They were like,
Yeah,
you can
anybody.
use the nope, lounge. You can go to the lounge. Like trying to come up with rooms to send people to.
Oh my
Clue
God,
is
so many rooms.
adorable.
It is adorable. I was thinking if we do another one, what about Transylvania 65000? Do you remember that movie?
I think that would be a funny one to do. Yeah, we could do that if we have time. We're running out of days for spooky season. Also, I'm running out of time to edit these for spooky season. There's always next year.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
As far as we know, there's always next year, unless your kids end up blowing up the moon. And the whole planet just gets covered in an even level of ocean.
94 minutes.
That's not really the time that it takes to make a podcast. That's just
no, that's how long the movie is.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I love you.
I love you too.
Okay. I can't wait to start planning our murder mystery dinner at Greg's house.
That's going to be great. Let's have it in like 4 years. Hey, thanks for listening. We appreciate y'all so
Valentine's
much.
murder mystery dinner.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah. Oh, shit. We got to do the ending. I forgot.
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you for listening to I Love You But, the podcast. We appreciate you so much. I have no idea what we're going to talk about next time because we have no idea when we're going to record again. So this is it. Follow at I Love You But Pod on Instagram. We don't really do anything anywhere else. And also, I don't really do a whole lot there. But eventually, my work will calm down. And hopefully I will then have the energy to be back. Ryan is silently Ryan is silently laughing again.
Laugh.
I'm Heather. I'm already wearing a Christmas shirt that says I'm fine, everything is fine, with a bunch of tangled Christmas lights on it.
Oh, I'm Ryan. And we wish you send you lots and lots of conditional love.
Hooray! I love you. Bye.